if it's acceptable in the West, it slowly starts to be
comes
accepted.
over here. Like even feminism, like obviously I believe that in our culture the concept of empowering women, giving women rights was there for the longest time. Like this was not something new, but the concept of feminism was obviously came in later in the West, and then it trickled down over here where feminism didn't exist. Only a few years ago women got the rights to vote. But like in for instance in Pakistan or in Islam, I'm talking
Yeah.
about religion because it's based on religion. The right to vote or the right to own property, all of these rights have been there for us like for hundreds of years. Like that's not a
Yeah.
new thing for us. But we choose to think that it comes from the West.
Ah, interesting. I like that. I like that concept. Like with feminism, also, do you think like it's a fight more than like a fight against another gender, or you think it's about like just equal opportunity?
I think the root of feminism was equal opportunity, like men, women equal. We should be given equal opportunity, all of that, which obviously is like, why would anyone disagree with that? But because the thing about the West and the US is that because they don't focus on their actual problems, they just create their own problems. So they just create random problems that never isn't really a problem, and they make it and they turn it into the extreme. Every movement has always turned to the extreme, and that's what happened to feminism. Now they're like radical feminists who say all men are bad and men should be eliminated from planet Earth, which obviously doesn't make sense.
That
to
is
me.
not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I think the fight has also, as you said, gotten like in the wrong aspect. So it's also called as white feminism, I think, at
Oh,
some
okay.
point
I
where,
didn't know.
yeah, someone has told me about this, where it's called as white feminism, where you're fighting for the wrong thing, where you needed to fight for like equal pay. But now you're fighting for a seat on the bus, so you're fighting for ladies' night. And like now you're fighting for like trivial things that make us feel bad when we're actually fighting for the right thing.
Things. Yeah, that's a
Right?
good point. Yeah.
So for me is like, because as a mental health coach, I've also spoken to so many women who are constantly stuck in terrible marriages. They are constantly being abused in marriages, and money has been taken away, or your money is used as a sense of control to not allow them to leave. And this is where like feminism comes into play. Like this is where we really need to fight for, like, you need to get what you're worth. You need to be able to have control over money. You need to be able to take decisions. You can't be controlled. And there are women on a daily basis that I speak to that are getting thrashed by their husband and going back because, oh, he loves me, or he said he's sorry. So this is where the real fight
That's a real problem. That's what we need to be fighting for. Yeah, exactly.
this is where the real feminism comes in. This is where the real fight comes in. And
Yeah.
then when someone like very meaninglessly talks about ladies' night and, fighting for a seat on the bus, and
It's
I feel bad. Like, I'm just like, what am I doing all of this for?
or yeah, like it's not these, and that's why people have created such a negative connotation with feminism, like such a negative impression of feminism, because it just seems like, oh, like women just want to take over the world, like
Yeah.
all the rights are only given to women, even though obviously that's not what women empowerment is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's
I mean, when I started putting out my content, I didn't know that it will go into this direction. For me, it was mainly about, I want to just decode a problem, because my brand is called Decoding Quirks. When I'm talking to a client, you're decoding where the
I love
struggle is
that.
coming
Yeah.
from, right? So when I started decoding it, a lot of it came from, like, generational trauma plays a picture on it, and a lot of it came from like a sense of control, which came from men, but it didn't come from a place where this is what it, like, men are being bad about it. It's just that this was how life was. We were trying to make a change. For example, the working corporate life, the 9 to 5, was never meant for women. It was designed for men based on their sleep schedule, their eating schedule, their lifestyle, their how tired they get, how much, like, based on all of that. Like, men can intermittent fast, women can't, because there's enough research done on men, not on women.
Yeah, even like the concept of sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day, that was done on men, and now research is saying for women they need 9 hours of sleep. So
exactly. So the corporate lifestyle was made for men. Women are entering it because we need to still prove ourselves. We haven't yet proved ourselves. We are in that stage of, listen, take me seriously. So we have entered that lifestyle. And now a lot of women, and I'm sure you've heard this, a lot of women are suffering from PCOD. Because we are also living a man's life in a man's world. And that's where we're trying to like change a few things. So we're trying to like, listen, this doesn't work for us. Oh, don't be a crybaby. If you want to work, just work. Go to the kitchen, make a sandwich. Like the comments that, so when I talk about like real issues where, bro, like now research is saying that this actually doesn't work for us. We still need to make money. We need to like, so female-led businesses are doing it differently.
yeah.
And I'll be like, this is the lazy way to work. You don't want to like... And then the comments that come about like...
Really? That's the kind of comments you get on when you...
All the time. Like 90% of my comments are like men telling me how I need to be submissive, listen, go to the kitchen, make a sandwich, and stop crying, and like stop trying to be in a man's world. But now the sad part is like sometimes men are also raised that way.
Yeah, I just think like in our culture, sadly, like at least in Pakistan, I feel like men are raised to be insecure. And what do I mean by that is that they cannot stand another girl, another woman, maybe doing better than them or doing better in anything in general, like just performing really well. No, they only picture the woman as like this submissive. I think it is, I would like to believe that it's
changing. Yeah.
I would like to believe that, but I don't know, like I still think men are quite insecure in our culture. Like it's very much prevalent, and that's why marriage scares me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I think it still exists in India, but and as you said, like I am seeing the change because again, I'm also talking from a very metro city that is really moved forward. I can see the change, but inherently, I can still see that men are insecure.
Yeah, that's what I don't know how to explain. Exactly what you just said. That I know that they're not like.
You can't do this.
Yeah, I know they're not like that, but they're inherently like their belief systems is still, the foundation of it is still that women are lesser than men in a way.
Yeah.